Hey everyone, today we're diving deep into a skill that is, let's be honest, the absolute bedrock of early literacy, connecting sounds to letters. We're going to break down standard K-2.F.P.1 and turn it into a clear, classroom-ready playbook that you can literally use tomorrow.
Everything we do in our classrooms really comes back to this one big question. How do we build fluent readers sound by sound? Well, the answer starts right here with a rock-solid foundation in phonics. And the very heart of that foundation, it's all about connecting those sounds to the symbols on the page.
And that brings us to our big idea for today, phoneme-grapheme mapping. Now that sounds technical, but really all it is building a bridge for our students, a bridge between the sounds they hear, the phonemes, and the letters they see, the graphemes. Getting this right, it's a total game changer for them. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with why this all matters. Then we'll unpack the learning target, plan with our resources, and then, my favorite part, I'll model the exact routine. We'll wrap up with differentiation and your key takeaways. Ready? Let's do it. Okay, first things first, why are we so focused on this one standard? Because honestly, this is so much more than just knowing the alphabet. This is about handing our students the secret code to unlock written language. This skill is the foundation for everything, decoding words when they read and encoding them when they write.
So here it is in all its glory, standard K2.F.P.1. The language might seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Our students need to be able to look at a letter and say its sound, but they also have to hear a sound and know which letter or letters make it. It's a two-way street, and that's exactly what we're aiming for. All right, let's unpack this thing. We're going to translate this teacher talk standard into a super clear, kid-friendly goal. And we're going to define exactly what mastery looks and sounds like in a real classroom. For our students, the goal is just this simple. I can match letters to their sounds. This is our learning target. It's clear, it's focused, and when a student can truly say this and do this, we know we're on the right track. Now, here's where it gets really cool. This isn't a one-and-done skill. It actually grows and gets more complex across the grade levels. You see, in kindergarten, we're focused on those basic consonants and short and long vowels. But then in first grade, we up the ante. We bring in consonant blends like blah and digraphs like sh. Then by second grade, we're tackling the really tricky stuff. Vowel digraphs, R-controlled vowels, you name it. This shows how we're all working together, building this skill up year after year. Okay, let's get into planning. The best teaching is always planned teaching. And for this standard, you've got two powerhouse resources that are basically your instructional playbook. Think of these two documents as your dynamic duo. The strategy card on the left, that's your how. It gives you the step-by-step what to say routine. And the evidence document on the right, that's your what. It tells you exactly what mastery looks like and what common mistakes to watch out for. They work together perfectly. Let's dig into that evidence document for a sec. Look at this table. For your kinders, you point to a B and ask, what sound? You're listening for a clean B sound. Simple, right? Now, for a first grader, you might say the sound first, sh, and you're watching to see if they can identify SH. And for a second grader, you might point to and ask, what sound? Hoping to hear that sound. This table is awesome because it shows you exactly what getting it looks like at each level. And now, the main event. We've planned, we know what we're looking for, so let's get to the teaching part. I'm going to walk you through the word chain routine straight from the strategy card using that classic gradual release. I do, we do, you do. So these are the steps right off the card. This routine is absolutely perfect for a daily phonics warm-up. It's fast, it's focused, but here's the best part. It's literally a workout for the reading brain. By making students isolate and change just one sound at a time, you're actively building and strengthening the neural pathways they need for fluent reading. It's that powerful. Let's start with the I do. Okay, I'm putting on my teacher hat. Imagine me at a small group table. I'd say, my turn, watch me. I'm going to write a word and say each sound. My word is cat. Then I'd write C-A-T, pointing to each letter as I go. K-A-T, cat. That's the think aloud in action. Pure, simple model. Next up, we do. This is where we bring them in. I'd say, okay, let's do one together. We're going to change the word cat to cap. Listen carefully. Cat, cap. Which sound changed? And I'm listening for all my students to chime in together. The last sound. This is a great little quick check to see if they're hearing the sound changes. But what if a student writes cab instead of cap? This is where the magic happens. This is a coaching moment. I'd lean in and say, "That's a good try. You got the C and the A exactly right. Let's listen to the end of that word again. Cap. Now, let's use our mirror. Watch my mouth when I say that last sound. P. See that puff of air? P. Now you try." Once they've got it, I'd say, "Great. Which letter makes that P sound?" "Right, the letter P. Let's fix our word to make cap." See, it's immediate, it's specific, and it's super supportive. And finally, the you do. We're releasing the responsibility. I'd say, "Your turn. On your whiteboards, change cap to map." I watch them write. "Good, now change map to man." They write again. Last one, change man to fan. And while they're working, I'm not just sitting here. I'm actively scanning their boards, making sure everyone has correctly written that final word, fan. So, we've got the core instruction down, but we all know our classrooms are full of different kinds of learners. So how do we tweak this routine to support kids who need a little extra help and to challenge those who are ready to fly? And how do we check for understanding? Here are some of my favorite moves. For students who need support, get those letter tiles out. Let them physically move the letters. And don't forget those mirrors. It really helps them see how their mouth forms the sounds. For a challenge, you could move into blends like changing ship to chip, or even have students create their own word chains. And here's a big one to watch out for. Make sure every student is only changing one sound at a time. That's the whole point. And what about assessment? It's already built right into the routine. That very last step becomes your exit ticket. After they've built the whole chain, you give one final prompt. "Okay, everyone, change man to fan. Write the new word and hold up your board when you're done." Just a quick scan of the room gives you instant data on who's got it and who might need a little more practice. Wow, we've covered a ton of ground, so let's just boil it all down to the most important takeaways, the things you need to remember to make this happen in your own classroom. Here's your playbook, short and sweet. 1, always start with the why, that I can statement. 2, use your tools. That evidence document and strategy card are your best friends. 3, model everything using that I do, we do, you do flow. 4, be constantly checking for understanding and giving that immediate feedback. And 5, keep it snappy. This should be a quick daily warm-up, so 3 to 5 words is perfect. And if you remember anything from our time together, let it be this. Consistency is everything. It's not about one perfect lesson. It's about that daily, explicit practice that builds a truly automatic and strong foundation in phonics for our kids. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to take back to your classroom. Based on what your students need right now, what's the first word chain you're going to build with them tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me today.